Before you went to the Nationals, you bought a suit and you had an encounter with JFK. Talk to us about that.
I did. I mean, it was incredible looking back on it. Senator Kennedy at that time was trying to win the West Virginia primary against a senator from Minnesota named Hubert H. Humphrey. I liked Humphrey because we had the same initials. I'm Homer Hadley Hickam, Hubert H. Humphrey. It's like, yeah, I like that. So, and I didn't know anything about Kennedy, but I was over, I won the state science fair, and so I was supposed to go to Indianapolis for the national. My friend Emily Sue Buckberry told my mom, you know, Sonny needs a suit. And so I was allowed to go over and pick one out. And the one that fit the best and I thought looked the best was this kind of bright orange suit. Now, I didn't know any better. I thought it was great. I would just, you know, stand out in a crowd. And so I wore that, and I heard the naval hymn being played, you know, Anchors Away. And I went down, and there turned out to be Senator John F. Kennedy standing on top of this, I think it was a Lincoln. They had loudspeakers up there, and he was just going on and on and on about, oh, how awful it must be to work in the coal mines. And that was before food stamps. He was going to invent food stamps, and all these coal miners were standing around looking at him going, what are you talking about? We don't understand you. What are you trying to say?
They needed an interpreter.
They did. I mean, he had this accent. And so when he stopped and asked for questions, you know, I'm the rocket boy. I'm interested in space. And so I raised my hand. He noticed me for some reason right off the the boy in the orange suit. So I asked him, I said, what do you think we ought to do in space? And I bet you Kennedy had not given 30 seconds of thought at that time. It was not the direction of his political campaign. And he turned it back on me. Well, what do you think we ought to do in space? And it just, boing, went right into my head. Well, I looked around at those coal miners and I said, well, I think we ought to go up to the moon and just mine the blame thing. And it just popped out of me, and I still don't know where that came from. But all the miners, they started applauding and laughing, and Kennedy picked up on that, and he said, well, elect me president, and maybe we will. So every once in a while, when I worked for NASA, when I was talking to some of the old Apollo guys that were still there, I said, well, you'd never gone anywhere if I hadn't asked Jack Kennedy that question in West Virginia.